Hey, so we're gonna make some pizza crust.
This is based off of this guy's recipe, which I've sort of modified and simplified.
We're gonna use a cast iron pan. This is a 10-inch. The recipe's for a 12-inch, but you can use the 10-inch. It's just gonna make the crust really poofy. In terms of what you'll need, half teaspoon, teaspoon, tablespoon, quarter cup, 1 cup. This is a secret. I'll share that later. Some salt, yeast, sugar. You need 8 ounces of water, and I don't really know what that is in terms of a cup. We've got some flour, some all-purpose original, en français, farine toute usage, mixing bowl, and the cast iron. So we're gonna keep, I'm glad that didn't slide off the table. This is just above 8, like just a hair. So it's basically a cup. It's a cup of water. I've been using this thing the whole time, and really I just needed a cup of water. 1 teaspoon sugar, 1.5 teaspoons of salt. So yeast can get kind of tricky. If the yeast isn't fresh, the dough won't really rise. This is from like an Italian nonna that we know. So this yeast is pretty good. So I'm just gonna use 1 teaspoon of this. But if you're using something store-bought, you'll probably need to use up to 3 teaspoons, but that's something you can kind of experiment with. Shit. That's it for the dry ingredients. I forgot that we needed olive oil for this. We're gonna pour 1 1/4 tablespoons. So we're gonna do this. And then for the rest of the 1/4, I'm too lazy to get like a 1/4 teaspoon, so I just kind of eyeball it. This quantity doesn't really matter. I've put in 2 teaspoons by accident and it's been fine. So I'm just kind of eyeballing that. For the spoon, we're just gonna stir and kind of scrape off any dry bits stuck to the side, because you want to make sure everything's gonna dissolve. I'm gonna cover this with a plate for maybe 5 minutes. 5 minutes or less, something like that. Just let it dissolve. I put away the flour and I realized we still need the flour. So, has it been 5 minutes? No. Does it matter? Probably not. This is kind of what the dissolved mixture looks like. If you leave it for longer, the yeast will start to like ferment and stuff. We're just gonna add some, I was gonna say yeast, but that's not what this is. This is flour. 1/4, and then 2 cups. So 2 cups and 1/4. Now, I try to use my hand and press it against the cup so that it's fairly level. Okay. So we're gonna take the spoon and make a mess and just kind of mix this sludge around. Normally I would be holding the bowl. The phone that I'm recording with is in my hand. Mix this as best you can with the spoon. If this shit happens, it's okay, it's fine. And once you can't really mix it anymore, your hands a little wash. I'm gonna keep my hands wet and we're just gonna mix. This is what the setup looks like. This is how I'm doing this with 2 hands. It is this neck mount, but I'm basically just trying to gather up all the stuff, all the dry crumbs that are kind of caught over here. I don't know if this is proper kneading technique, but it seems to work. This is how I'm getting the ASMR shot. Yeah, so this is probably like a higher concentration of water to flour. But again, doesn't really matter all that much. These aren't like exact measurements. I'm intentionally making mistakes and making this imperfect to show that, hey, like nothing needs to be exact. So don't stress about things not being exact. You'll know it's kind of done when you're not like getting dry flour crumbs in it. It's uniform. You can just tell. You can just tell that this is like dough now. At this point, yeah, cover this. Let the yeast and stuff do its thing. I generally leave this for an hour just because the dough doesn't need to super rise, especially if you don't like really poofy crust, and because I'm using a smaller cast iron pan over here. Really, it's so flexible. You can leave it for an hour, you can leave it overnight, and it'll be fine because none of the rules matter. Actually, this did rise quite a bit. It's a bit more spongy. It's poofed. And it's only been an hour, so beep, 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 beep. 500, look at these frogs. Anyway, sorry, unrelated. 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Like, you'll see that the texture has changed quite a bit. It's a lot smoother in how it looks, more pliable. And coat my cast iron in some avocado oil. So the reason I'm using avocado oil is I think it has a higher smoke point, and I'm just like trying not to set off the smoke alarm. I'm just gonna kind of coat the surface here and take some of the oil that's still on my fingers, and I'm just gonna kind of stretch this around. I've never tried the pizza flip, but I feel like I might want to now because I'm on video. And why not? Oh my God, that's so fun. How have I not done this before? You generally want to stretch it to be slightly bigger than the pan, just so it's gonna want to shrink in. If you stretch it beyond the pan, then you won't have to fight to like get it out again. I'm gonna take just like, oh shit. Okay, yeah, just coat this a little bit. I'm using just pizza squeeze. The sauce has like a bit of sweetness to it, which I like. I'm not like overly fancy with the sauce. One of the things I like to do is I like to use two types of pepperoni. I think this is like a chorizo, so it's technically not pepperoni, and this is also technically not pepperoni. So having some variety in the flavor. So this one just has like a bit of a meatier bite to it. I don't know why I cut things this way. The difference between like how the pizza tastes is going to be kind of like based here. Like I think this is going to make the most difference. If you want like a really rich tasting pizza, you need quality ingredients, not maybe, but like if you get just like cheap pepperoni that doesn't like have a lot of flavor, it's going to get drowned out by the pizza. So you want something that's like salty. I lay down the pepperoni first because that stuff is already cooked, so it doesn't need to be like hit by the top of the oven. It's time for cheese. And then in the original video that I'm like basing this recipe off of, you can get some like cheese on the edge and that'll like crust up. So that's pretty good coverage. I find that like big chunky peppers really like helps you actually taste the peppers when you bite into the pizza. Oh no, I've forgotten the mushrooms. Where are my mushrooms? Here we go. So again, like big chunky pieces. The last little bit is some onion. Cut this into like little strips. What I like about using purple onions is it adds color. There's like red, green, I was gonna say mushroom, but I guess it's like a beige, and purple. Purple's one of the best colors. And the last thing I'll do is just like add a touch of cheese on top to just give it some extra glue. And I'm just waiting for this to preheat. We are to temperature. I'm gonna pop this in middle rack, whatever, I don't know. We're gonna put that in for 18 minutes. And so this is what it looks like. I'm going to clear that and broil it for 2 minutes. Okay, so we're good. I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna leave it open for a second because like the onion kind of air will get to me. I'm just gonna, ooh, sizzle. There we go. There's the pizza. There's the final product. Okay, let's get some super sexy shots. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah, I'm just gonna lift that up with my thumb. I don't have a pizza cutter. I also don't super like pizza cutters. I don't know, I'm not good with them. Maybe I need practice. I'm gonna use this as the demo slice. See how it's like really poofy? I'm gonna use this for scale, or like my hand. I don't know what an appropriate scale is. I wish I could communicate how good this tastes across digital wavelengths. I have some Longo's hot honey. The mini hot honey review from Longo's is not very hot, but it tastes good with pizza. So I think they like specially formulated this to like go with pizza. And hot honey on pizza is one of those things. If you know, you know. If you don't, try it out. It's super good. Yeah, yeah. Oh, you know what? I'm actually getting some of the heat, but it's hard to tell whether that's from the pepperoni or the actual honey. Like maybe I just put on more in that bite. Yeah, this is really good. Try it. Oh shit. Maybe some more shots of it kind of being eaten. Subscribe for more. I don't know.